Well, hello everyone. We are back from New York City and Connecticut, and we had an amazing time. You're going to hear a lot more about that this weekend. It was beyond exceptional. Let me just put it that way. But today, well, I came home, there was a freeze while I was gone, and the garden waits for no one. So on this Wednesday Walkabout, I am going to talk about some of the chores that are on my list of things that I really need to get done to prep it for winter, to make it look presentable for Thanksgiving, and because it is an absolutely beautiful day, and I am just anxious to get my hands in the dirt after, well, being in a little bit more urban setting earlier in the week. So today we are going to talk about washing our windows, you know, getting the muck, the old stuff, the stuff that is now freeze-dried in our pots. We're going to talk a little bit about prep for tulip planting and bulb planting. Gosh, all sorts of things. So what do you say? Let's do it. Okay, thank you guys for helping me with that chore. So, boy, when the sun this time of year hits really south in the sky, the thing that it illuminates for me or really showcases for me are how dirty my windows are. That's one of the bad things about facing south, is it's hard to find a time to really clean your windows because it's always so sunny, and optimally we clean them on a day when the streaks won't show. But I just am using today some of this Windex Clean. A lot of times I'll just do it just with my green-white cloth or white-green cloth, but today I really need to do some deeper cleaning. Part of that is because before too long, not till after Thanksgiving, I'm going to be hanging up my wreaths, and I really want to make sure that I've got clean windows before those wreaths go up. So this is one of the things that I am doing today, and that is really starting to clean the exterior of my windows. This isn't a sponsored post, but I really like this Windex stuff, and it is safe for me to use around my window box if any of it gets into the plantings. So that is the first thing on my chore list, and that's getting my getting my windows clean and wreath ready. Okay, so here is what I use, and a great idea for a stocking stuffer. I love these white-green cloths, and by the way, the owner sent me a number of them because I had been talking about them so much, so I need to go through my email and find the special coupon code that she got. But I love these. They are wet it, wring it, wipe any surface, streak-free, spot-free, clean. Well, why I like them is that basically I don't have to spray anything, and when I use them, especially if I use them on a not sunny day, then it really does give me a streak-free surface. So I've already wetted these, so I don't have to wet the cloth. And now all I'm doing is just going to clean these windows. And I think this just makes it, well, it makes it more environmentally friendly, I guess, because I'm not using lots of spray cleaner, but it just, for me, it makes it easier. Ideally, I'd be doing this on a day that wasn't so sunny, but sadly, or happily, we only have sunny days on the horizon and on the forecast. And hopefully any stuff that you're still seeing is because it's inside. And Stuart, if you could point the camera to the inside, you can see I've got all of my topiaries here because I've got some indoor gardening to do as well. And can you see that they were all hanging out in my bathtub, living the spa life while I was out of town? And now I need to take them out of the bathtub and put them back in their appropriate location. And I'm glad I did that because, again, we had an unexpected hard freeze while I was gone. And yet today, I'm sweating. And that would be Oklahoma for you. My hands aren't quite long enough, and I actually have a window cleaner that's got kind of a pole on it that I could use. But that's pretty quick and easy. And then I'll do the inside a little bit later. But I just wet it, wipe it, tweak it at the end, and I'll be pretty good to go. So on to the next thing. Well, if there's one thing I know for sure about being a gardener is that sun can be hard on your face, and that a beautiful garden comes from consistency and care. And the same thing is true of the gardener. Taking care of your skin requires consistency and care. And if your skin is looking a little less than its best after a full gardening season, then you may want to take a look at the Omnilux FDA cleared LED light facial system. I do this for 10 minutes about every other day, sometimes even every day, and it's just so easy. And now that the temperatures have started to cool, well, it's also feeling kind of cozy and warm to me. It's like, well, it's kind of like sunshine on your face without all of the damage. So all I do is illuminate it, put it on for 10 minutes, and then I can just go about with my evening. I can do stretches in bed. I can put on a coat of nail polish. I can make a cup of tea. I can do other things. A lot of times I meditate, but I like the thought that I'm taking care of my skin and I'm taking care of myself at the same time, because I am taking a dedicated 10 minutes on self-care and consistency. It helps my skin with fine lines, with wrinkles. It helps build collagen. It improves the texture of my skin, and I am just really a fan of it. I've talked to you for many months about this Omnilux now, and it's the perfect time to talk about it, I think, because it's gifting season. So if you want to put this on your own Christmas gift list, if you want to buy one for Santa, or if you want Santa to buy one for you, then I really suggest that you use the QR code right here on the screen to get your own Omnilux, because consistency pays off in the garden, and it also pays off for the gardener. Okay, now this is one of those instances where I'm not going to let perfect be the enemy of the good. I am not tall enough to reach those transom windows, so they are just going to be as clean as they can get, simply with me using the Windex spray. But I'm not going to stand up on top of this window box to be able to reach up there, and I'm also not going to get out a ladder in this really tight space. So I'll clean them on the inside, on the lower levels, but then I'm going to call it good. These are the hardest ones for me to clean at the cottage because they're divided pane. The other ones that are solid glass, not so much of a problem. So there you go. That is the very first thing on my list. Okay, Hubs and I want to give a big thank you and a big shout out to all of those in Connecticut and New York who extended a very generous hand of hospitality. We had so much fun, and gosh, so many people showed up at the book signing, I couldn't believe it.
It was a wonderful experience.
It was a wonderful experience, and they got to meet Hubs, which made it even a better experience, right?
Special for everybody, including me.
Okay. So Hubs and I just wanted to say thank you, because we know that it took some time out of your weekend, and we felt loved. So if you guys like this kind of content, you know what to do. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, hit the like button, and now hit the hype button. Most importantly, share it with your friends and others who might find these kinds of helpful tips informative, entertaining, and maybe find a community. I'm absolutely humiliated, mortified, embarrassed to tell you this, and yet we're friends here, so I'm going to tell you anyway. And that's that here I am, the queen of pruning, and can I find one pair of hand pruners? No, I cannot. So I'm just going to use these kind of semi-hand pruners to do number 2 on my list, and that is cleaning up my pots. Because as you can see, all of the annuals in here are now spent. They were nipped by the frost that we had. What's interesting is any other day for, gosh, the past month or whatever, and even on the horizon, the 10-day forecast, we don't have anything barely below 45. And yet, one day, in the land of extremes here, one night it got below 30. It got down to 27. That was while I was gone, so I really had to do some fancy footwork to take care of my darlings while I was gone. Thank you, Victor. But now, these other things that I can do myself, I am indeed doing, and that is, I'm not pulling these out completely because that will really make a holy mess. The other reason I'm not doing it is because a little bit later, we are going to be coming back in here and we're going to be planting bulbs, which is my next thing to show you that I have gotten my bulbs, and I'm starting to strategize my bulb planting strategy. I guess that's kind of redundant. But I've called Kayla, and pretty soon, right before Thanksgiving, that's my tip. Here's my tip. If you're wondering about when to plant your tulips, for me, it's typically the week before Thanksgiving. Can you do it later if you are in zone 7 like me? Yes, you can. I've planted them as late as after Christmas. Is that optimal? Maybe not. If you live farther north, or if you're in Colorado like my kiddos, they've already got their tulips in the ground. So this is the time of year to plant spring blooming bulbs. So your daffodils, your tulips, if you're new to gardening, all of you experienced gardeners out there, I'm not telling you something you don't already know. But I'm just cleaning up these pots because A, I want them to look more tidy, and B, because I kind of want to get the lay of the land before I start planting bulbs in here, and I want to start designing and making decisions on exactly which bulbs and what kind of spring bloomers I want in these pots. So in some of them, it will be a combo of tulips or daffodils, violas and or pansies, maybe kale, but then also I want to clean these out because I might be transplanting, if you will, some of the little golden feverfew seedlings that I have coming up everywhere. Now I'm tackling these urns. And what I'm probably, I mean, look at this. In this case, just go ahead and take the whole thing out. I might as well. It came out so easily. It also tells me that really this soil is completely worn out and tired. It's not going to do anything in the future any good. So into the compost pile it will go. And now I know that I need to plant something else in here. I will replenish the soil. In these, however, I don't think I'm going to plant any bulbs. I do know that. I'll probably plant some kind of evergreen that will look good over the winter that I can then kind of create a design skirt around them, or design a skirt around them of evergreens, maybe pine cones, things that are a little bit more wintry, that may go in and around a skirt of pansies that I plant first. So that remains to be seen, but I already feel better taking all of those spent annuals out of that pot and really doing the same here. Okay, here's a quick tip, and I am as serious as, what's that expression? Serious as something. That's
heart attack.
Serious as a heart attack when I say this. Don't be stupid like me. All the time I was doing that, I had my electrolyte water just sitting right there. And so, of course, what happened? I got lots of dirt and debris in my cup.
Oh.
I either need to have a lid on my cup or I need to move my cup to a different location. I bet you guys are out there laughing because some of you may have done the same thing. But seriously, that's a tip. I need to remember that. Linda, think about what you're doing. Okay, moving on to the next project, which is actually an extension of the first, and that is I have emptied my pots of annuals and things, and now I do want to go ahead and pull out the annuals in my garden that are spent. So you may recall that I left the pentas and things in the ground because they were still blooming when I left. Now, not so much. Of course, do I have a pair of garden gloves on? No, I don't, because I never have them when I need them. some of these, actually, I could maybe cut back if I wanted to bring them in. As you recall, I'm going to do that still with some of this Joseph's coat because these are still green. The top portion is the only portion that's been burnt, frost burnt. The root system and the plant itself is probably still viable, but I'm ready to move on because it's going to be tulip planting season. So I'm going to be pulling some things out. Now you'll notice that I left all of the boxwood basil in place. Why? Because I want some of this to go to seed, and indeed probably some of it has. So before I discard the root ball and everything else, I'm going to do a little bit of this in case there's any seeds in there that might still be viable. And I bet there are, because all of these boxwood basil that I've been enjoying this year, all of these, even though they are not frost hardy, some of them were protected enough that they came up again in the spring. And boy, this is so fragrant. So I'm just going to kind of do this. I'm hoping some of them have already dropped. Let me see if I can spot any of them in here so you can see what they look like. Maybe there, they kind of look like that right there. They're just little black seeds. Sometimes seed recognition is as important as seedling recognition. So I'm going to pull this out. Take a moment to appreciate how good this dirt still is. And I will just do that same thing, moving up and down. There's some underneath these tall cages.
Take a moment to appreciate how good it smells.
Oh, I mean, I know. That's right. I intentionally didn't put my gloves on because I wanted to be able to smell it on my hands. I knew there was method behind my madness. Always is. So I'm going to pull those out, take these out, and now the reason that I really am doing this is because I want to see, okay, now right here, this opens up a big spot right here where I can plant tulips. And they will be basically along the edge of the walkway going up to the steps, but I spy something else. Let's see if any keen-eyed viewer out here can identify. Let's take a snapshot of this area right in here. Let's see if any of you keen-eyed viewers can identify a seedling that's growing in this area right here. And when we come back, I'll give you the answer. And the answer is, that is a Minoan lace. Some of you may have recognized it. It is very characteristic when it germinates. Originally, it throws out these very, very long sword-like cotyledon, I guess, leaves, and then it puts out this characteristic ferny foliage, and that is Minoan lace. I have another little seedling down here. I'm not sure what that is. It might be a foxglove, but it needs to grow a little bit more before I know exactly what it is. So now, Stuart, we can speed this up as I pull out the rest of the annuals that are along the east border. Okay, east side, west side. So I've done the east side. And now for the west side. I can't tell you how happy it makes me that this soil is so rich and lush. Makes me very, very happy. Excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Pumpkins. It always kind of hurts my heart to pull these out, but such is the price of tulips. Okay, now I think it's about time for us to move on to our next chore. Okay, I love this so much when I'm working out in the yard and I hear my neighbors, or better yet, my friends, the Soil Sisters, also working out in the yard across the street at our friend Aaron's.
Yep.
So Andrea and Kelly are here, and what are you guys doing today?
We are getting their house ready for the Mesta holiday tour.
That's right, which is a perfect opportunity for me to plug that.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be one of the, what do you call them, docents or whatever it is?
Refreshment?
No, I'm going to be one of the people that stands in the room to make sure that everybody is respectful of the space.
Not stealing their
Yes,
stuff.
not stealing their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's on. What is it? What does my sign say? It's on this down. It's on the 6th and the 7th. It's on the 6th
December.
and the 7th. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on 6th or 7th, but if whichever day I am, come by and see us, because this is a really fun house. It was the one that had all of the candy corn pumpkins in front of it, and you guys are now getting ready for the Christmas, the Mesta Park Christmas home tour.
Yes.
Yay.
Okay, so are you going to share what you're doing over there?
Yeah, we they wanted pots for their steps. So
Yeah.
we got them some beautiful white pots.
Okay.
And now we are getting them ready to plant.
Okay.
We have
Do some like evergreen juniper pom-poms with
Cool.
ivy, and we're gonna add some outdoor Christmas ornaments, fresh wreaths, fresh garland.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's almost that time,
I know.
especially and today, because after the freeze the other night, it's what, 75 today, going to be 80 tomorrow.
It's so warm. Yeah, I know. I'm like, why am I in this?
Weather whiplash. Okay, are you guys doing the lights, or did somebody else do
No.
the lights on the poles and stuff?
Someone else did the lights.
Yeah. Well, guess what I'm doing today?
What?
I am washing my windows so that when it is time for me to put up my wreaths, do you ladies do windows?
Wash them.
My 7-year-old son does.
He does?
Yes.
Really? Do I need to hire
He
him
cleans
out?
Cars, windows.
Serious?
He does.
Does
and
he really?
He does a great
so
job.
serious, yeah.
I might have him come clean my car. I mean that. I am serious. He has a heart attack on that. So, okay. Well, thank you for letting me interrupt you. Love you.
fun.
Love you. Love you. Love you, soil. Love you, soil sisters. Yes. And again, I mean that. I love companion gardening, where I'm doing it. My friends are across the street. We can shout back and forth. We can, what are you doing?
It's
Oh, that's
fun.
a good idea. Maybe I need to do that too.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
There's a lot of friendship in gardening.
There is a lot of friendship in gardening, so and a lot of cuteness too, Thank you, soil sisters.
Thank you, Linda.
Okay, I will see you around.
We'll see ya.
Okay, bye.
See you.
Okay, before we head into, is it number 4? I think it's number 4. Let's take a moment to really enjoy our garden-inspired life. My hands right now smell so good. And I was telling Stuart that there's a subtle distinction between the scent on my hands when I pulled up the boxwood basil, and then it changed a little bit when I pulled up the fragrant purple ball basil. So anyhow, that's just a little thing to share. The other thing I wanted to share is look at how pretty my windows already look from down here. So anyhow, I digress. Number 4. I got to do a little designing today. I've got to make some decisions, and that is I need to tell Kayla how many flats of pansy/violas that I need to have for the berms and for up and down the sidewalk going up to the steps, and for in my pots. So this is no special formula, though you can find formulas online, but because of the way I do it, it's in kind of a spotted fashion. So here's a tip. I went back into my garden photos from last year and the year before here at the cottage, so next spring will be my 3rd official spring here. And something wasn't resonating with me on these berms and the pansies, and I figured it out. And for me, what made it less pleasing was because there was not enough textural contrast as a border up and down the edge of these berms. So I started to address that by transplanting a lot of this golden feverfew. So when this then intermingles with some violas and some pansies in the kind of purplish hues that I like, it will make it much more texturally interesting, give it much more dimension, and I think make it look not so landscapey, more like a garden. So that is my intent anyway. So I'm thinking about, what do I want to do? The other decision point is, do I want to add pansies along this section of the berm? And I'm kind of thinking I might not, because there's going to be tulips in here, and I just think it might be too much. So that was my number one decision. May I change my mind? I might. But for right now, I am just going to plant those bulbs, remulch this to make it look good, take out any wayward Bermuda grass that's growing up in here. And of course, I can't resist just going ahead and pulling it. I may or may not plant a little bit of that golden feverfew around here, but I'm kind of thinking through this. But I know for sure that I want pansies and violas up along this berm. So how am I determining how many I want? Well, number one, I just make it easy and I'll say, Kayla, I just want a 50-50 blend. And I always make sure that the two colors are very complementary. In other words, one isn't kind of violet and the other isn't blue, but they very much are tone on tone. One is just a smaller size than the other, and ultimately I'll share with you exactly what varieties I get. So how do I determine how many I think I'm going to need? Well, it's very scientific. So if I know that I want pansies along here, then I think, well, given the density and with which I want to plant them, about how many pansies do I want in here? So I'm going to say that for in here, I want 2 flats, which will equate to 1 flat of violas and 1 flat of pansies. If I don't use them all, that's okay, because I can always put them in another spot, or I can put them in another planter or container. So that's 2. Then I'm going to say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for these pots, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I've got 14 flats right now. That covers this area. And how am I determining that? A flat is about this big. I like them planted very, very densely. So there you go on that. So that's 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I'm going to say I want 24 flats, 12 of each. Can you remember that? So I remember to tell Kayla. So yeah, 24 is an easy number. I want about 2 dozen, a dozen of each. And then if I find after they get in place that I need a little bit more, then number one, I can fill it in by just adding more of the golden feverfew, or number 2, I can just buy more at the store in a similar color palette. So I think that's what I'm going with. That should give me enough for the planters. It should give me enough for the window box, and I think I'm going to be good to go. So that was that number 4? I'm losing count, but I think that was my number 4 chore that I wanted to get done today, and indeed I did. I made that determination. Okay, I said it before Halloween, I say it every year, and that is there will be remnants of Halloween around the cottage and up and down the street, I'm sure till next spring. Here's a little one. And I bet underneath all of these leaves, I'm gonna find some more remnants of Halloween.
Maybe find some candy.
Maybe I'll even find some candy. I don't know that I would enjoy it though. I think I would relegate it to the trash. Okay, so that brings me to number 5, and the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm not gonna do it today because, well, I'm gonna get Hub's help with it. But the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm gonna get out my Works leaf shredder. Stuart, right here, would you put up a little picture of it, or maybe a little video, whatever we can find, of my Works leaf shredder? Because I want to every day, I'll get out my handy broom, every day I want to clean up all of the leaves on the steps. And why do I want to do that? Well, because it is treacherous. I've talked about this before. See right here with all of these leaves on here, you can't even tell there's a step there. But there is. So I want to make sure that I expose all of this so that guests are safe, so that I'm safe. Of course, will there be a wind, an Oklahoma wind sweeping down the plains and they'll come right back? Yes, yes there will. So I need to be vigilant about it. But I'm going to let these dry out a little bit. And then I will just get them, I'll scoop them up, put them in my leaf shredder, and then with the shredded leaves, I will use them to mulch the upper terrace and the berms with shredded leaves. If more leaves fall on top of that or on top of the upper terraces, I'll just leave them in place because they create a good blanket of warmth going through the winter. They protect little baby seedlings that are up there and just waiting to germinate, giving them maybe some additional warmth to encourage that germination. And I like the way it looks, quite frankly. Do I want the rest of them cleaned up off of my grass to look tidy? Yes, and those are the ones that I use to shred and use as mulch. So that would be my number 5. When we come back, I'm going to have one last thing that I want to show you as kind of a bonus, chore, and also a little explanation. So yesterday I put up the garden chores that I was doing at the fairy tale house to give you kind of an idea and for me to look at it again and say, oh, what chores did I do there compared to what chores I do here? And they're pretty much the same. Some of you, I know it confuses you, especially if you're new to the channel. You wonder, wait, did Linda move? No. So here's what Stuart and I are going to do moving forward. I think we have tried to be disciplined about it in the past, and we really haven't. Again, we don't have a huge crew here. We don't have lots of people behind the scenes that help us with all of the detail work, the computer work, the editing, and that kind of thing. So we're doing this ourselves. So give us a break if we sometimes screw up, because we sometimes do. But on Thursdays, we're going to start doing a regular series of seasonal appropriate Throwback Thursdays to probably the fairy tale house or to previous years here at the cottage. Because I know when I watch them, I find things that I want to know again. I find ideas that I'd forgotten about that would be appropriate to replicate this time of year. Things that I used to do that maybe I've become irresponsible on and I need to start doing again. Plus, for those of you who just love the fairy tale house, well, it's a nice little trip down memory lane. Nice little trip down memory lane. So look for those on Thursdays. We also put them in playlists, but for those of you that are new to the channel, I think it'll be really helpful. Okay, come this way, because a lot of you have asked about the garden in the forgotten place, and I haven't shown it to you for a while, but I definitely want to show it to you again. How's my hair look in the back, Stuart? How are my cowlicks? Pretty good? Okay, so a number of you that were there at the book signing and that have seen some of the pictures said, oh my gosh, Linda, you and Bunny Williams have exactly the same cowlick in the back of your head. So maybe that's one of the reasons we like the same things. Okay, so this is still looking good. Da 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 da. Look, I still have fresh flowers to cut from the garden, which is simply amazing to me. Let's stop. Look at these beautiful Henri Joubert anemones from White Flower Farm. Aren't those incredible? And some of you have mentioned, oh, Linda, those are kind of invasive, and you've been trying to dig them out. I would be thrilled if these become invasive in all, let that truck go past. I would be thrilled if these became invasive all through all of the blank areas in here, because I think it would just be simply stunning. Okay, so let's come back over here. Now, I still need to kind of put some kind of border on here to contain this dirt, and I will. But before that, I came out and I plugged in a lot. You may recall that I had a previous flower arrangement that had a lot of cut sedum autumn joy in it. And after that arrangement was finished, I just came out and I just stuck all, can you see all these cuttings here, these flowers here, Stuart? Yep. Okay, I just put them all in a line to create a border here, And what will they do, you ask? Well, what they will do, and sometimes I just put a stem in there, because it will put out roots at the point of every leaf node. And lest you don't believe me, look here. Here's one I stuck in here a lot earlier. It was just a stem, and look how it's putting out new growth. And by next spring, these will all be perfect little sage seafoam green tufts that will run up and down the edge. This was all free stuff. I didn't pay anything for it. All I did was come out here and just literally stuck it in the dirt. Didn't have to dig or anything. Stuck it in the dirt, as I did with all of this Tradescantia. You can see there, and it's starting to fill in, and I will fill in the remainder of this area when I get some time. Now, I also, what I did was scatter a bunch of seeds. Did I show that in the video, Stuart? I think we did. Okay, so you may want to know the development on that, and did any of them germinate? And this is important for two things. Number one, yes, they have, some of them have germinated. Number two, if you do something like this, if you garden in a forgotten place, it gives you a brilliant opportunity to do seedling identification. So, and a lot of these are way too close together. But look here, look at all of these seeds that have germinated. And I feel fairly certain those are foxglove. Now, I can thin those out, or I can just let them grow up. And the important thing is some of them can stay in place, but some of them I can transplant to other areas in the front where I want them. So that is seedling identification number one. And then over here, look at all these. This is what I mean about leaf coverage being a nice blanket to protect the seedlings. So over in here, I don't know if I can find them again, but I recognized some poppy seedlings. I think that might be one coming up right there. But look, I mean, look at all the germination I've gotten. Over there, I recognize some larkspur seedlings. And are these all too densely compacted? Yes, because a lot of times what I do is I just take a stem that has dried seeds on it, and I just do this. I lay it on here.
Advanced gardening. Advanced
gardening, very difficult to do. But again, it also serves to protect and insulate what is underneath it. Then the residual benefit is if any of those still have dry seeds attached to them, then they will germinate right here in my forgotten flower bed. So you can see here, there's some seeds from the butterfly weed, and this is the butterfly weed. I don't really care if all of this germinates, if it is symmetrical or not. I just want it to germinate, and this is an experiment, and then I will have this border of sedum autumn joy. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take the official before picture of this forgotten flower bed so that next year in the spring we can show you the after. You may recall what I did. This was just kind of a barren section. I weeded it a little bit. Then with some of the dirt that was excavated from the front bed, we dumped some of that dirt right here. It was pretty good quality. We didn't want it to go away. It was topsoil after all. And then I just seeded in this. Now all I need is consistent rainfall and a benevolent, kind-hearted Mother Nature, and we'll see what happens. Are there weed seeds coming up in here? Yes, there are, and there's one of them. But do I care about that right now? No, I don't, because some of these I can just pull right there. That is, I think, a poppy seedling. If it's not a poppy seedling, it is something, it is not a weed, let me put it that way. Some of these, I've even forgotten what I sprinkled in here. And again, they were just free seeds that I had from things that I dried. So it's an experiment. Stuart, let's get the official before picture. And I just think it's such a fun thing to do. And I'm kind of like a drug addict, and every year it takes a little bit more for me to get the same high as I did the previous spring. So this is just an easy way for me to get a cheap and hopefully very effective hit. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Excuse my analogy. But I need to get some of this stuff done because Thanksgiving is going to be here before we know it, and a lot of content relates to Thanksgiving coming up. Again, if you like this kind of material, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. That kind of activity really, really helps our channel, and it helps us make a living, but it also helps us spread the word about this kind and supportive community that we have here, and that was never more apparent to me than it was in New York. So if you like it, hit the like button, hit the, what's the button? The hype button, but more importantly, share it with somebody else who might want to be part of this wonderful, wonderful, exceptional group of people. Thank you.